This video explains how to count NA values in a data frame by groups in this data frame using the R programming language. So without too much talk, let's dive into the R code. In this video I will show you two examples, and both of these examples are based on the data frame that we can create with lines 2 and 3 of the code. So after running these lines of code, you can see at the top right of RStudio that a new data set called data is appearing, and we can print this data frame to the bottom in the RStudio console by running line 4 of the code. And then you can see that we have created a data frame containing 9 rows and 2 columns, whereby the first column contains values and NA values. And the second column is a group indicator which shows our 3 groups A, B and C. Now let's assume that we want to count the number of NA values for each of the groups in our column X. Then we can apply the aggregate function, as you can see in lines 6 to 9 of the code. And within the aggregate function, we need to specify the name of the column in which we want to count the NA values. Then we need to specify the name of the grouping column. We also need to specify the name of our data set. And we need to specify a user-defined function in which we take the sum of the NA values in a certain column. So if you run lines 6 to 9 of the code, you can see that a new data object is appearing at the top right, which is called data count1. And if we run line 10 of the code, the content of this data object is printed to the console. And as you can see, this new data frame contains a group and an X column, so similar to our input data frame. However, this time the group column contains only one occurrence of each group values, and the X column contains the number of NAs in our values column. So in this case, the group A contains only one NA value, and the groups B and C both contain 2 NA values. Now in this first example, I have explained how to use the aggregate function to count NA values by groups. However, it's also possible to use the dplyr package for this task, and this is what I want to show you in the second example of this tutorial, starting in line 12 of the code. And in lines 12 and 13 of the code, I'm installing and loading the dplyr package. I have installed the package already, so for that reason I'm just going to load it with line 13 of the code. And then in the next step, in lines 15 to 17 of the code, I'm specifying our data set, then I'm using the pipe operator, then I'm grouping our data using the group by function. Within the group by function, we need to specify the name of our group column. Then once again, I'm using the pipe operator, and then I'm using the summarize function to create another column which is called count NA, and this column should contain the counts of NA values in each group. So after running lines 15 to 17 of the code, you can see that another data set called data count2 is appearing at the top right. And if you run line 18 of the code, our new data set is printed to the console. As you can see, this time we have created a tuple object. And this tuple contains 2 columns, a group column and a count NA column. And the group column corresponds to the 3 different groups, A, B and C. And the count NA column is showing the counts of NA values in each group. So similar to the first example, this tuple shows that the first group A contains only one NA value and the other 2 groups contain 2 NA values. That's all I wanted to explain in this video. In case you want to learn more on this topic, you may check out my homepage, statisticsglobe.com, because on my homepage I have recently published a tutorial in which I'm explaining the content of this video in some more detail. I will put a link to this tutorial into the description of the video, so you can find it there. If you have liked this video or if you have any questions, let me know in the comments section below. I'll try to respond to all comments as soon as I can. Furthermore, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel to get notified about future video releases. I have already published about 500 videos on this channel, and I'm releasing new videos on a daily basis. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next video.